screen. I'm going to share my entire screen. Okay, so right now, whenever you're a teacher and you start a live lesson, this is a live lesson that we started, the very first page, it'll show me who's already logged in. And I really appreciate those of you that have logged into this live Nearpod lesson. Now, on your screen, it probably looks a little different. Your screen probably looks like this. Okay. And of course, we appreciate you being here today, Montgomery County Schools, Throwback Thursday. This is one of our first presentations that we've done together. So I am your Westside Digital Learning Coach, Nora Beasley. And with us today, we also have Rebecca. If you want to introduce yourself, Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Shepherd. I've been with the district about 2.5 years. I came on with the IAL grant as the elementary media specialist for the whole county. And just in the last 3 weeks, I've transitioned to the Eastside DLC position that Susie Reed vacated when she retired. And I know she's enjoying her retirement, but I'm happy to be here. I have 26.5 years as a media specialist. So learning about new resources is always exciting for me. And I love that now I get to share it with a lot of other people too when I find something cool.
Thank you. We're happy to have you. Okay, so I want you to see your screen. Make sure you're on your Nearpod screen because I want you to kind of see something. And whenever I'm doing a Nearpod with my students, I tell them something like right about here. I'm like, put jazz hands in the air, jazz hands in the air. And then when I change my screen, you should notice on your side that the student screen changes, which is, I think, is really, really cool. That when my screen changes, their screen changes. And I've always thought that that was a great classroom management piece of Nearpod.
Yes, because they are not able to click out of that or anything. That what they see on their screen is what they're going to have to do.
Yep. All right, so we did have this don't have time for training. If you see other coworkers and you're like, oh my goodness, Nearpod is the greatest thing ever, and they didn't get a chance to come today, of course we'll have this recording, but also Nearpod has its own self-paced lesson that they can work through. And if they can't click on this link necessarily, I think I put it out on our Facebook MoCo Shares group, and we would be happy to share this self-paced lesson through Nearpod that goes straight through everything that we're going to talk about today. So. And of course, anytime we meet, these are our little simple norms. And I appreciate all of you ladies being on time. I appreciate you bringing your device and having your device and being online. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we want to make sure we're not just sitting and getting, that we're actually implementing. And so in order for you to implement today, before you leave, if you don't have a district Nearpod license, and we'll talk about that in a minute, we will make sure that you have one by tomorrow. So we want you to take this Nearpod and implement it and use it. And then, of course, every time we meet, we have the digital learning competency standards because that's what do we do from the state. And we want to make sure that you do get CEU credit for being here. Right. And I wanted to remind you, since we have your attention, that on next week, we're going to do web page training on the 30th and on the 1st. So thank you for joining us today. Please make sure that you join us next week if you need to update your web page. Are there any questions about that? All right, we'll keep on moving on. All right, Rebecca, you want to get this party started? So on my screen, you should see what the teacher screen looks like. And it says, what do you already know about Nearpod? Type something that you already know about Nearpod. This is completely anonymous, of course. Now, on the teacher side, you can see my screen. It said, would you like to approve students' comments about the post? And I'm going to say on this one, no, because y'all are adults. Let's see what you got. So on your Nearpod screen, if you could please go answer that question. It says, what do you already know about Nearpod? And I bet you that Amy is going to type in a whole bunch of good stuff for us. Or we can just give us a chance to talk, either way. But we want to show you how this feature works.
I apologize. My computer is being super, super slow this afternoon.
That's okay. Well, does anybody want to just talk? We can talk about it. So this is kind of like a little sticky note board that will work for your students. Oh, there goes somebody. Yay, virtual field trips. You already know about the virtual field trips. Yay. She said they do interactive learning centers. Cool. Seems to be a really cool resource. You see how those little sticky notes pop up there. And this, Miss Shepherd, was this hard to make?
No, because it was already a template and I just dropped it straight into the Nearpod presentation, and then I could click and drag onto where I wanted it to appear in the presentation. So it was very easy to create. And you just choose an open-ended question and choose what you want it to look like and pop it in, and that's it. It literally took 30 seconds, if that.
Can somebody tell me, what do you know about the virtual field trips? What do you know about them? Tell me about a virtual field trip.
I don't know anything about those. I know that you do have to have the VR goggles to use those. At times you can still do the virtual field trips. You just don't get the same effect as if you don't have the goggles. But that doesn't mean that you can't pull those up and show those to your kids or have them look at those.
Okay, cool. So it seems like y'all at least are familiar with Nearpod. That's good. Actually used with a tablet. Oh, okay. Yes, you can. Very much so. Students love the time. Oh, review for the test. I agree. Amy, did you have anything else to add? I know you are one of our top users in the county. You have something else you would like to add?
I just use Nearpod. Sometimes I use it as a anticipation guide. I can see what the kids know, and I like that it's real time. I also like if we're doing an activity in class and everyone's completing it at the same time, and one student has a really good response, I can share that response and everyone in the class can see it. And I can do it with the kid's name or anonymously.
Yep, I love that part. Thank you. All right, well, we'll keep on moving on.
Yes, I thought I had this set up to be anonymous, but I guess I didn't click the right button.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. I mean, it's just us. So go ahead.
Yeah. So Nearpod, they are these ready-made lessons. If you already have stuff, you can build your own. You can edit the Nearpod lessons once you put those into your lesson library. They also have interactive tools if you just need something very quickly that you don't want to create a whole lesson around. You can always just pull up that little tool and send it out to kids with the code, and they can log in with that code and just do those quick little things. There are also sub-plans. It's great for sub-plans. If you know that you're going to be out or you need an emergency sub-plan, you can go in here and find something, send the code out over your learning management system, and there's your ready-made sub-plan for the day.
Excellent. Have you ever used those for sub-plans, Amy?
I have not used them for sub-plans. I used the lessons when we were remote.
How did that work? Did that work well for you? It seems like it would.
Yes, it did. The kids, Nearpod is student friendly, I think, and the kids enjoy doing the activities on it.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety in there for sure.
And leading into the variety, how do you find a lesson? So whenever you get into Nearpod, there is a Nearpod library. Now, we want to make sure that before you leave us today that you do have a district license, and Rebecca will talk about that in a little bit. But when you have that district license, it will give you more access to different things in Nearpod that you don't have to pay for. And the Nearpod library already has a ton of stuff that's already in there and it's already made. I know we found the other day, like if I just have a new teacher that comes in, a lot of times I'll just type in math and the grade level or whatever in the grade level in order to go ahead and just search and see what they already have before I take the time to have to go make it myself. I know I found a lot of things, like I said, that were already on there, like especially for holidays that are coming up.
Yes.
We found some things yesterday for English as a second language. I mean, there's not been many topics that I've went to search for that I didn't find something.
And another good thing about finding those lessons is that you can drill down by standard. If you're looking for something that meets a specific standard, you can drill down by that. You can look by grade level. You can look by topic. There, you can decide if you want a whole lesson, if you just want a video, if you just want an activity. There are lots of different ways to search in Nearpod, and you'll always find something. I even found something today on drones. And another good thing about it is if you want something for Veterans Day, for example, that was just last week, you can find something that for K2, they have the same lesson for 3-5, but with just a little more meat with it, and then another lesson for 6-12. So it is broken up into different grade strands. So you're not always searching for something to modify to your specific grade level.
Excellent. There is a little bit of difference between, and this takes a little bit of getting used to. There is a little bit of a difference between the teacher view and the student view. I know like right now you're seeing my teacher view on the screen. Their student view looks a little bit different, but as you get to playing with it, of course, you'll have up on your TV or your active board, you'll have the teacher view, and you'll see everybody's responses versus the student view. It's usually not too hard to get the difference between that. I know y'all are used to that with the other programs that we have, but there is definitely, a little bit of, learning curve, getting used to the teacher view versus the student view. You do have anything to say about that, Amy? I don't think it's a hard process. It's just, just a little bit of getting used to.
The one thing I have learned though is not to project the teacher view if you're wanting the kids to write a response, because then they'll start typing in what they're already seeing.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Good thinking.
That's a good tip.
And you can also hide the names down here at the bottom. I know mine's being covered, but you can also hide the names too. So if you didn't want them to see the names. All right, moving right along. This is a video. And how should we play it? The teacher plays it or a student play it? What would y'all like? What would you prefer? What do you think is easier? The teacher plays it? It's only 1 minute. I'll play it. I'm going to do teacher play. And it's only 1 minute. So here we go.
Did you know that you could create Nearpod assignments from Google Classroom? If not, check out this video. First, go to the Chrome Web Store and find the Nearpod for Classroom extension. Add it to Chrome. Once you've added the extension, go back to your Google Classroom, refresh your browser, and then start creating an assignment. Click on Create, Nearpod Assignment. It will access your Nearpod library. Find the lesson that you would like to launch, live lesson or student pace. Once the assignment has been added, click on the assignment, edit the assignment, type in the instructions that you would like for your students to complete, add in points, the due date if you feel necessary, the topic, and then assign. Thank you for watching and happy teaching.
So that's great information, especially if you're in elementary and middle school. I know the East Middle, they have Google Classroom. And so
Yes.
it makes a really seamless integration with Google Classroom. I know that at one time we did have the app and the extension added for Canvas. I don't know that we're necessarily using that the way that we should. Amy, have you tried putting the Nearpods, into Canvas using that extension that we had? I know we had one at one time, but I don't know enough to talk about it. If you want to know, have you tried using that, ma'am?
I have not had a chance to play around with that yet. No, I've been too focused on Cami, but it's on my things to do or to learn about.
Trust me, I understand, but I do think that there is a way to. But I mean, and then of course, you can kill them and give them the codes to put in as well. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now you get to see the teacher side, adding Nearpod assignment to here's a little quiz. So go ahead and ladies, if you don't mind taking this really quick, and I'll tell you what, I'll hide the name since we're doing this as a recording. I'll hide this name.
And this is more of a poll. And when you're doing a poll, you can drop that into any lesson that you want to, wherever you'd like to drop it. And all you have to do is type your question in, type your answers in, and that's, click create. And that's pretty much it. It took me about 30 seconds to insert this poll. It was super easy. The one thing that I don't like about the poll is that you can only do a 1-question poll. You can't do several questions. So if you need to do several questions, you probably need to do a quiz instead of a poll.
Okay. Cool feature. All right.
So,
Go ahead.
a lot of times people are reluctant to use something new because they say, oh, well, I already have everything I need in Google Slides or PowerPoint. But what Nora and I did, we created this presentation originally in Google Slides. And then we decided, well, why not drop it in Nearpod and show everybody some of the features that Nearpod has? So we just literally just dropped it in. We dragged it and dropped it into Nearpod. It was just that simple. And then we added some of the Nearpod features into the presentation. There are videos. It'll search videos directly from YouTube. You don't have to go out to YouTube and find a link and then copy it in. It'll put it right in there for you. There are game-based assessments. It even connects with vocabulary so that you can put vocabulary videos in. It's just, there was a huge long list of things that you can do with Nearpod. And like I said in here, don't reinvent the wheel, just use Nearpod to embellish your wheel.
All right, and now we want to show the drawing tool. It says, write your name in the drawing tool. You may leave this blank canvas or upload a background picture if you would like. Make it pretty, ladies. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to show you how the drawing tool works. And I always liked the drawing tool for math. Has anybody else tried the drawing tool for anything specific they would like to share?
I had the kids draw what they thought characters looked like.
Oh, that's a great use of it.
And you can see on the teacher side, it's oh, I like your little hooray cat. On the teacher side, it's in real time. Look at Marlene and her cursive handwriting.
Oh, that's fancy.
Well, I think it does a really good job to let you see, and especially, I don't know, like I said, I used to like it for math problems because you could see actually their math problem and be like, oh, I can see that they're struggling with this piece or they're struggling with that piece. And I know sometimes it is a little bit hard for them to write with like this little trackpad, but if they have like an actual mouse, I don't know that a mouse is a word, but
if they would like to put pictures in there, when you click on that, you saw the little picture icon at the bottom of the screen, and you can click on that picture icon and search for pictures through Google. And there's no need to go out and find a picture, or if they already have a picture on their computer, it'll upload it to there.
Excellent. Does anyone have questions about the drawing tool?
Mm-mm.
Okay, we'll move on to the next thing.
This is a new little tool or new activity that Nearpod has created just recently. It's a drag and drop. And so this is really good, especially for your K2s. This one would be for jobs. So you just literally drag and drop whatever tool goes to whatever profession. And they have other ones as well. You can even make your own, which would be, that would be fun. It'd be a little more time consuming, but it could be done.
So if you want to just take a little bit to play with the drag and drop. Does anybody have questions about the drag and drop feature? Very cool.
All right. When you log into Nearpod, there are some, some little features that you can choose what your students see or what they can do. They can make notes on things. You just get all of that from lesson settings from your profile picture in the top right-hand corner when you log into Nearpod.
All right, what's new? There's a whole link, and we will send these out. There are lots of new features constantly coming out with Nearpod, and one of the coolest things, and it may already be in here, and I may have forgotten about it, but just to stay up to date. I mean, we're already on Facebook anyway. Out looking at stuff at night in the middle of the night. Looking for something to shop on Amazon or whatever. So I found this. There's actually a Nearpod Facebook group. Hold on, I think I haven't gotten there yet, but I will get there in a minute. There's a Nearpod Facebook group that automatically, will give you the new and greatest things that are coming out of Nearpod. And I think that's good to stay, in contact with those kind of things. I know that a lot of teachers don't necessarily use Twitter anymore, but of course, the high tech IT people, that's where they're at. And they're always, talking about the new and greatest features. And of course, we'll try to keep you up to date with the new things that are coming out. Rebecca just mentioned one earlier, that they'll drag and drop, but that's a good place just to stay and to stay up to date with things that are coming out with Nearpod. And that was a link that goes to the site that tells you about that. And also with Nearpod, they have live webinars that you can attend. They have pre-recorded things that you can attend. They have a ton of their own training material. So if you get into Nearpod and it's like your new and greatest and favorite tool on the planet, please let us know, and we would be happy to make sure that you get those resources that you need. The ultimate guide to Nearpod, of course, Rebecca found this in as a video, and this guide does a really, really good job. Yes. Explaining Nearpod, and it is 23 minutes, but it may be worth your time to do that. Like I said, if you wanted to go into Nearpod more.
Yeah, and that video is on YouTube. I think I put the link in there, but he's on YouTube. Just YouTube it, and I watched the whole thing and was not bored at all. So it's definitely worth your time.
Oh, this is what I was talking about. So it's Nearpod for Teachers. There is a group on Facebook, and if you want me to find it for you and send you the invite, especially if you're my friend, I certainly don't mind. Most teachers with this schools are, but I thought that this group was really good, and it showed you like their camp that's coming up, and it's just a good way to keep in touch with like the new and greatest and wonderful things with Nearpod. So. And that leads into the next one. Nearpod has a camp that's actually starting today, and it is free. I think I put it out there for you as well. If you're interested in that camp, please let us know. We would be happy to send you the information. They're having some live sessions, or you can watch it afterwards. Did I miss something? I missed something there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there it is. Time to climb.
Oh, y'all, this is fun. This is kind of like it's a quiz, but it's sort of a gamified quiz. So the kids answer the questions, and then I tried to do it myself, but I have to be logged in as a student to do that. So I didn't get the full effect of being able to do this. So I'm kind of excited about seeing what this can do.
Is there anybody logged in as a student side that they can show us what it looks like? I can stop presenting if they would like to show us. Is anybody logged in? They'd like to show us time to climb.
Let's see. I don't think it's going to let me do it.
Would you like to show us, Miss Stewart, the time to climb? Will it let you show your screen? Oh, there she goes. Yay! Let's see some time to climb.
What do I do next?
Let's see. Choosing methods. Let's see. Oh, that's not. Yeah, this is supposed to be a quiz, so I don't know what happened.
All right, I'm going to stop
Reach
sharing
the
screen.
next screen. Is that the screen? Is that the screen we need to be on?
Yes.
There it is. I'm sorry, that was all on Miss Beasley.
That's
Blame that on her. Oh, cool.
And you can put as many questions as you would like in a quiz. If you just want a 5-question or a 10-question, you can totally do that.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing screen now.
Okay. And I will show y'all what it looks like on the teacher side. So on the teacher side, the scoreboard is up. And it will show you, and of course, I took your names off of it because we're not here to do any of that. But it shows you on the teacher side what our scores look like. So that's kind of cool. Does anybody want any more time with that quiz? Do you like that? Is that a new feature that you've not seen?
I think it's really a good way to get kids more engaged. I mean, that's the whole thing is we're competing with video games now. And
Definitely.
I think they, I think that the interactive quizzes, it kind of lets them go through at their own pace. You can also set a timer on it if you need to. It's just, this is what they're used to now, the digital stuff.
I agree. And then the next thing, of course, we want to make sure that we are helping you explore Nearpod as much as possible. If you would like for us to email, and of course, we'll have the sign-in sheet from today as well. But we want to make sure that if we can help you with this, or we can send you any resources or help you look for things in the library, please let us know. And then after this presentation today, like I said, if you want a district Nearpod license, please, please, please let us know. And we will make sure that you get that. Matter of fact, if you came to this training today, we'll definitely make sure that you get it. Because we want to make sure you have access to all those resources, because if you just do the free account, sometimes there'll be Nearpod lessons that you have to pay for. And we certainly don't want anything that you have to pay for.
Yep. I think, let's see, Nelsie, I think you already have one. I saw your name on the list. And clearly Amy already has one.
She does. One of the top users in the county.
That's right. So if there's anybody else that would like to have one, just let Nora or me know and we can get that taken care of.
Mm-hmm. And if you haven't had a chance, if you came in late, I know I'm seeing a few people on there. If you came in late, I'll put back over in the chat again the sign-in link for today. Please, please, please make sure you sign in, because that's the only way we can give you CEUs credit for coming. And then, of course, this is our information. If you ever need us, please email us, contact us anyway. We do have a YouTube channel. It's Digital Learning Tips. We would be happy if you join that or subscribe to that channel, because a lot of times we do put videos out there of just different topics. And then, of course, we now both, of course, are on Twitter if you want to find us that way. And, of course, our emails are the best way to find us or to get answers for anything. So stop sharing my screen. I'm going to come back over here. I'll put this out one more time just so you have everything from today. Please make sure you've signed in. Ms. Johnson, I don't know if you've got signed in, but please do. If the sign-in link's over in the chat. And then I'm going to stop recording so that we can just stay here and help you with anything, anybody.